Let's set the scene. You've got the perfect backyard cookout going. The grill's sizzling, the drinks are ice cold, and you are staring down the ultimate condiment conundrum. You've spent all afternoon prepping this meat, but how exactly do you elevate it? Well, today we are settling the score in a true heavyweight flavor showdown. We're looking at traditional versus hickory barbecue sauce. By the end of this explainer, you're not just going to know which bottle to grab from your pantry, you'll actually understand the culinary science behind why one brings this perfect harmony to your palate, while the other just brings unapologetic noise to the pit. Let's get into it. So, smoke or balance? That's the real question here. Both of these phenomenal options share the broad label of barbecue sauce, right? But culinarily speaking, they serve completely divergent masters. It's fundamentally a choice between calculated harmony and intense wood-fired power. One relies on a really delicate tightrope walk of sweet, sour, and savory notes to get that smooth, universal appeal that pretty much everyone loves. The other, it weaponizes pure, concentrated smoke to just dominate the flavor profile. The sauce you choose doesn't just add flavor, it actually dictates the entire personality of your plate. In the first corner, we have traditional barbecue sauce, the classic all-arounder. When someone generically asks you to pass the BBQ sauce, this is exactly the familiar, comforting, ruby red sauce that pops into your head. It's the reigning champion of the American picnic table, hands down. But, it didn't earn that household name status by just being safe or boring. It earned it by being incredibly approachable. It's practically mathematically formulated to hit every single one of your taste receptors in perfect sequence without ever overwhelming them. Let's look under the hood at its ingredients. The secret to that universal appeal is all right here in the foundational building blocks. You start with a robust, thick tomato base, usually ketchup or tomato paste, which gives you that essential umami and a nice natural fruitiness. Then comes the really critical culinary tug-of-war. You've got the deep, rich sweetness of brown sugar or molasses, and that's sharply countered by the bright, acidic bite of vinegar. That specific acid-sugar ratio, that is the true engine of this sauce. Finally, your foundational spices like paprika, garlic, onion, and black pepper step in to ground the whole profile. It's literally a masterclass in culinary teamwork. No single ingredient steals the spotlight. They are all pulling in the exact same direction. And because of that super precise formulation, the flavor profile ends up being this brilliant three-way tie between sweet, tangy, and savory. When you taste it, the acidity of the vinegar hits the front of your tongue first, just totally waking up your palate. Then, the sugars coat the middle of your mouth with this comforting sweetness. And finally, the savory umami notes from the tomato and garlic linger right at the finish. But notice what's missing here? Heavy smoke. If there's any smokiness at all in a traditional sauce, it's incredibly subtle, just a really faint background note. It relies entirely on that bright, sweet, and tangy balance to do the heavy lifting. That meticulous balance is exactly why traditional sauce is just so incredibly versatile. It's best used for practically everything. Because of its relatively high sugar content, it is the absolute perfect glaze for grilled chicken. It caramelizes beautifully into the sticky, lacquered coating over an open flame. It works flawlessly when you brush it over a rack of ribs in the last 15 minutes of cooking, and it adds a great little zing to your standard backyard burgers. And honestly, beyond the grill, it has a secret superpower. It is the ultimate fail-proof dipping sauce for kids' hot dogs, fries, or chicken nuggets. You literally cannot go wrong pairing this with standard cookout fare. It's built to enhance, not overpower. But hey, what if you don't want to play it safe? What if your menu demands something with a bit more grit and character? Enter our challenger, Hickory BBQ sauce. This is the bold smoke show of the condiment world. Hickory just completely flips the script. It leaves that universally pleasing, balanced territory way behind and steps up with a strong, distinct, and highly concentrated identity that absolutely refuses to be ignored. It is not here to be a background player, folks. It's here to be the star. Now, looking at the common hickory ingredients, you'll actually find a familiar engine running things, that same foundational tomato and vinegar base. But the pivotal divergence happens right in the middle, with the heavy-handed addition of hickory smoke flavor. Whether they get this through the slow, natural smoking of the ingredients, or just the precise addition of liquid smoke, this one single variable completely rewrites the sauce's DNA. Paired with a much bolder, aggressive spice blend, we're talking sharper peppers or intensified garlic, the sauce immediately shifts from a polite team player to a commanding solo act. That heavy infusion of hickory is exactly why the flavor profile is so deep, smoky, rich, and bold. While there's definitely a slight underlying sweetness, just to keep it palatable, the overall profile is significantly more intense, earthy, and rugged than the traditional stuff. It doesn't quietly compliment your food, it demands your absolute attention. When you taste a true hickory sauce, those heavy smoke phenols are the very first thing to hit your palate. They effectively mask the lighter, brighter vinegars, they dominate your taste buds, and they linger long after those sugary molasses notes have faded away. Because of that overwhelming, intense smoke, hickory requires a culinary canvas that can actually fight back. It is best used for hearty, robust, highly marbled meats that aren't going to just disappear under those massive flavors. We are talking thick, slow-cooked beef brisket, heavy-duty chuck burgers, bone-in steaks, and thick-cut pork chops. You see, the rendered fat in those heavier meats physically binds with the smoke phenols in the sauce, and it creates this amazing, authentic, just-came-off-the-pit taste. It's practically a cheat code for grilling. It gives you that rugged, pitmaster flavor, even if you're just using a standard gas grill on a Tuesday night, or, even roasting meat in your kitchen oven. Okay, let's put these two side by side and look at the tail of the tape. This really reveals where each sauce stakes its claim. As you can see, traditional sauce leans entirely into its sweet and tangy nature. It deliberately keeps the smoke level to an absolute minimum, which makes it very versatile and a guaranteed win for kids. It's your ultimate utility player. Hickory, on the other hand, willingly sacrifices that universal versatility to deliver a really strong, smoky, and bold payload. It's a highly specialized tool. It might not win over the picky eaters, but it is entirely unmatched when you deploy it strategically on those hearty meats that really crave a robust companion. Comparing their overall vibes, your choice in this condiment clash really comes down to the audience you're serving and the specific atmosphere you want to curate. Traditional easily wins the award for safety and family-friendly appeal. It's the sunny Sunday afternoon option that practically guarantees zero complaints. Hickory is your moodier, rugged alternative. It takes the crown for bringing that authentic, low and slow, rich barbecue pit vibe straight to your backyard. It appeals to the purists out there who want to taste the fire and the wood just as much as they taste the meat itself. To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a quote from our source material that I think perfectly distills this showdown. It says, "Traditional barbecue is the classic crowd pleaser, but hickory sauce is for when you want your food to smell smoky before you even take a bite." I mean, that hits the nail on the head, right? You now know the underlying science of the sweet balance and the unyielding power of the smoke. So next time you fire up the grill and stare down that pantry shelf, we're left with one mouthwatering question. Are you aiming to please the crowd, or are you looking to bring the smoke?